Greetings! Once again, come to the place where those brave stand against those sinister. But for right now, we're going to take a little bit of a break and talk about some of what's happened so far. Opinions, questions that are going to get answered as we go around. This will be encompassing, if I don't miss my guess, Barovia, which was a long time ago, which includes the church, when you picked up Ismark and Irina, and what that entailed, what you've done in Vallaki thus far, the Vistani camp, and a couple things that have happened on the road since.
So basically Barovia and Vallaki and the road in between.
Alright.
I feel you.
So, I thought I'd start off with an easy one. Favorite part of that portion?
Of that portion, I gotta say, not to take it from anyone else who's gonna pick it, but I think so far the best part has been when Strahd showed up just recently. It was so good, and not to suck your dick or anything, but I think you played Strahd so well because Strahd's whole gimmick is that he's basically like an abusive man. And that's not just me talking. The people who wrote it, as a husband and wife, Tracy and Laura Hickman, and they wrote Strahd specifically like an abusive male figure. Vampires have always had a weird, abusive, sexual nature to them. And that's kind of Strahd's whole gimmick, is that he's this... And David, you played it really well. He showed up, he was so mopey and feeling sorry for himself. And if you know any teenage boy on the internet, that's all they do. Oh, I'm such a my life is so horrible. Please love me. He did it so well. He fucking... You really feel how much of a fucking creep he is towards Irina. He attacks her friends for no reason just because he doesn't like that she has friends. He tries to, convince her not to learn magic. He was unthreatening and then threatening all of a sudden, which I think really played into his character really well. He did a really good job of just playing Strahd up like the piece of shit he really is. And at the same time, you made him look cool because he totally just fireballed Sasha in half. So yeah, I really felt like this is definitely the end boss who's gonna who's something that Sasha has to level up to meet. I think it was really cool that it was a chance for me to learn something about his weakness, learn that he's not resistant to lightning and acid. The whole scene was just really cool. I definitely think it's not just the strongest part of this campaign, but I think it's definitely the highlight of the campaign so far. Although the rest of it's been really good too, but that has definitely been the best part. Strahd showing up the second time and fireballing Sasha was so good.
I appreciate that.
I have to ask, did he cast it at a higher level than normal?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I thought.
What about you?
Well, I'm not going to pick Strahd because he just picked him, but I do like that Isaac showed up all of a sudden, and we don't know what is going on with him, but he's got his own motivations. So I thought that was interesting because it was unexpected. I do kind of like the seeming crime solving feel though that we got in the Vallaki camp.
So it's kind of equal between them for you.
Cool. What about you?
Does that have to be a combat encounter?
Nah, it could be a favorite part. Though I will be asking about combat specifically in a little bit.
Okay. And then, how about that fucking weird guy that can't really speak? What was he again?
Oh, the drunkard?
No. Or he would only say Strahd over and over.
Oh, the zombie.
Oh,
the zombie.
Yeah. That was a really cool part too. I will back that up. That was awesome.
Mine.
Is that yours?
Yeah, that was gonna be mine.
That was a really cool part though.
Yeah, it was.
There's so many cool parts.
I'm glad it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I actually did kind of like the, I guess it could be considered a quest line, the figuring out what happened to the little girl, or Arabelle?
Yeah, arabelle.
Arabelle. Because I could potentially see some people going, this place just sucks, kids get lost, whatever, we're probably not going to find her, let's move on. Probably rare for parties, but people probably come across those types of people. But that definitely did open up a lot of potential for multiple people to do multiple things. Because I feel like basically everybody played a part in it. Everybody added and helped. I feel like basically everybody was kind of needed for that.
Really? I didn't do that much that entire time.
Well, it's yes, you found information. It just so happened that the information kind of crossed with us, too. But it just allowed us to, like, concrete and go, I kind of doubt myself. Instead of, you found the same thing, so it's a bit more concrete.
That's true.
Well, right on. Glad you dug it. Personally, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick the Strahd moment because while I did it on purpose, it worked out better than I thought it would have due to some things that I didn't expect. So that was pretty cool. Though, shout out to the priest punch out that happened in Barovia, which
That part
I
was also
pushed,
pretty good.
but
too.
I'm glad people rolled with regardless.
If I can also throw in an honorable, or actually, you know what? I'll save it for later because best NPC will probably come up and I can sneak it back in. So don't worry about it.
It's a good question, and you know what? While we're doing the non-combat stuff, why not extend that? Go for it.
Okay,
You got
best NPC.
best NPC.
Obviously, goes without saying that Strahd's going to be the best NPC in Curse of Strahd.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing that out the window right now. One of you guys could pick it, but I'm not going to pick
You
Strahd.
could even
'cause
call
that's
him an
the thing.
antagonist, really.
Yeah. My favorite NPC in that he really encapsulated like what Curse of Strahd is, in my opinion, the most was the Coffin Maker. He was so fucking beaten down and there was clearly something sketchy going on behind him, and it really just felt like Barovia was this place where horrible shit happens and these people are just so like
Downtrodden.
there's a reason that most of the people, usually your characters in Curse of Strahd, are outsiders because the people there have been under Strahd's stranglehold for so long that they really have no chance to fight back. Even Van Richten, who's one of the more powerful allies, is from outside Barovia. He's not from here.
Huh.
Most of the people who are willing to fight back against Strahd are not from here. And that's because, not because of like an outsider bias, it's because this place chokes the fucking hope out of you. And I thought the encounter with the when you were talking to the crypt maker or the coffin maker was really good. I felt like it was a really good NPC. I dug it. It's really just so perfect as to what Barovia is to these people. A fucking horrible nightmare hellscape from which there's no escape.
Boy, is it. What about you? Got a favorite NPC in the segments?
I mean, the obvious answer would be Strahd. I am gonna pick the Baron though, just because of how annoying he is. I think he does a really good job at
All will be well.
fakely jovial, like he's trying too hard, and it's
Culty
really annoying.
He's culty as fuck.
He's quite the personality.
Second in command of the vistani camp.
Yeah.
Tall or short one?
Great.
The
second
short
one.
one. The second.
The second.
Well, I think they're both equally in command, but you mean the one who isn't super angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's a fucking commoner. Is pretty
The
much.
liar.
Yeah, the liar.
Argyle?
Yeah.
Or Argyle?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's funny. I like Argyle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shout out to Lavash, too. Guy's a fucking lunatic.
He's very angry.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I think I actually probably give it to Lavash, actually.
Lavash?
Yeah, just because, yes, he is obviously upset and stuff due to the events that happened to him. But you can kind of tell just by how everybody else acts around him. He's kind of just always like that. Like, his presence is just
the other people made
there.
it very clear. It's like, no, that guy's an asshole all the time.
Which, hey, that kind of always showed, which was nice. The, yes, daughter coming back makes anybody happy.
Yeah.
Which probably did show a side that he doesn't show very often.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know how it is around the camp, but...
Yeah. I think Van Richten is the
Yeah.
coolest.
Yeah.
I have said off camera that I was really tempted to cheat who the ally was to be one of like 2, though there are 4 that are actually really cool in my opinion. And Van Richten is obviously one of them. I just think the whole Dracula Van Helsing thing is super cool,
Yeah.
and that he exists is just the sickest.
In my head, he totally looks exactly like fucking Anthony Hopkins. Fucking the guy who played Van Helsing in the movie.
He may as well. So, favorite combat?
Favorite combat. Well, the Strahd encounter wasn't really a combat. He just kind of fucking annihilated me. So I'm gonna say my favorite combat was the fight with what was his name? What was Donovich's son's name? Doro? Something like that? I didn't write it down.
I think it was Doru. I'd have
Doru.
to
No, you're
look
right.
up.
It was Doru. The fight with Doru was pretty awesome. It reminded me of the old John Carpenter vampire movie because we had to go in and everything was kind of tense. Even though we did get a sneak attack on him, we knew how dangerous he was if he managed to get the upper hand on us.
Yeah.
It really reminded me a lot of the first scene in that John Carpenter movie, except we didn't fucking harpoon him and then pull him out into the sun via a fucking tow truck. But the whole like super tense nature of it totally reminded me of that movie.
You know,
And I liked it. It was cool. We fought a guy who was way stronger than us. But like we actually chose to. It wasn't like when the werewolves attacked us where it was like, oh shit. It was like, no, we need to man up. We need to go in there and we need to kill this fucking vampire that would probably kill the shit out of us. And yeah, it was really cool. I liked it a lot. Him running up on the ceiling was really cool too. And I think he drank someone's blood, or he almost did.
think so.
I know he almost bit me. He slashed and almost bit.
Okay, well, yeah, it was a while ago, but it's definitely my favorite fight of this part because I don't count Strahd just fireballing me stuff.
If we had staked him, would he have turned into a Gothias tree?
I'd have to look at the specifications of a Gothias tree. I know that it has to do with staked vampire. Despite being super red, I don't remember all of what it takes.
I wonder if there's a Gothias tree in here.
Barovia?
You would think, right? Vampires
might
are
be.
somewhat common here.
Do you think Strahd's enough of a dick to kind of have one within his courtyard?
I have no idea.
That means he would have had to make a vampire and then stake
Then
him.
again, we
off
would
in
see
there,
twig
which would be kinda
blights.
fucked up.
But we did see thorn blights, didn't we?
Yeah, I believe so.
Maybe there's.
Needle blights?
What about
Yeah, it was something like that.
what about your favorite combat thus far between the?
What all did we fight on the way here? We fought wolves mainly, dire wolves,
We
and
fought dire wolves. We fought will-o-wisp. We fought.
The zombies,
There's the
technically.
fight with. There were some zombies. There was a fight with Isaacs men. There was. I mean, that fight's still technically going, but.
Yeah.
True, but
There's the
combat's
fight with
combat.
Doru.
I just don't want to pick the same answer someone else picked, so I guess I'm gonna go.
Yeah, there's only been like 4 or 5 combats in this stretch. Like, there's. Ironically, it's been longer than Death House, but there's been less fights because.
It's more investigation.
Yeah, go
going
figure.
on.
We've been going around and talking to people. more.
I think I'm gonna pick the fight with Isaac just because that fight is sort of tense and that the guards are hesitating. They haven't like committed to the fight, and so it's kind of like a standoff feeling
Yeah.
at the moment. So I guess I'm gonna pick that because of that. Also, he's got a badass demon arm, and you wouldn't want to fight someone's badass demon dog.
Like you at least shoot fire
I
from.
wonder if Isaac would be your ally, possibly. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
That would be neat. Yeah, David would be the one that knows the answer to
It
that.
depends on his
I haven't looked
intentions
through like the
with
whole
Irina.
list. I know of like a handful, and that's why there are like 4 because out of the handful that I know about, like you guys are cool. You
Okay.
guys are cool.
I'll pick the one with the dire wolves or wolves. And I like that one. It was fun.
You have to fight from horseback. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Because it's usually Crack and Irina that are on the horse.
And pray tell, what about you?
I do feel like the Will-O-Wisp fight, it seemed like it was, it was cool. If there was more, I feel like it could have had a bit more to it. Or, I know unfortunately it only got like 2 rolls, 1 roll.
Maybe.
But that's the first time
My magic missile did.
I've seen them like in D&D.
3 hits. It got 3 hit.
So I kind of felt like after the encounter, okay, these things are seem to be way more dangerous and might actually be the type that just pick somebody, pull them away from the party, and then just do whatever.
Maybe. I am a fan of the ongoing Isaac combat, if only because it's cool. It's something that I wasn't sure was going to happen because initially, when you ran into Isaac, you didn't have Irina with you. They were kind of split up, so it's cool that something that could have not happened totally did happen. Plus, I've been lucky enough to catch you guys a little split up, which only makes it more
I'd be
fun.
interested to know why Isaac is after Irina.
Yeah.
So that's positives. Now for maybe a little bit of criticism. Is there a part in the stretch that you felt was the weakest?
I will preface this by saying that this is mostly a me thing. I am dumb. So any part that's investigation, I automatically kind of check my brain out to because I'm just dumb. It's nothing to do with investigation parts, and it's fine for other people. But if I don't like eureka moment, a solution right away, it just gets frustrating. And I'm just like, God, I hope my allies can figure this out. So part of when we were trying to find a trail, I just wish we could have found a trail to go after Arabelle faster. Because there was a bunch of time where I was going around and talking to people and questioning them that basically led to nothing. And I know that's not your fault. It's just what I was choosing to do, and then with some bad rolls. And
You found out about
spell
both.
slots.
Didn't you find out about the drunk though?
yeah,
He
but
was
we would
questioning
have found the drunk when we followed the tracks anyway. What I did didn't really matter. And that's what tends to happen when we do investigations. I go off and do some shit that doesn't matter, then other people figure out the problem. And it's just easier when I don't have to do anything and that happens. That's why I much preferred that when we were playing where I was Godzilla.
Gamma World.
Gamma World. Because I literally didn't have to do any puzzle shit. Fucking Jesse did it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna stay back until we have to punch something. And I enjoyed that way more. So I guess technically that's the part that I consider the weakest. Maybe if you want a more solid answer, I guess I could say there seems to be a lot of random encounters that are just wolves, and that can get a little tedious.
Nah, running the investigation and stuff is difficult for me as well, so it's not like I don't understand.
Not to sound like a Philistine or anything, but I tend to enjoy more action or social encounter stuff and less figure this out. And
What about you? Alternatively, if you hated a part, but in my arrogance, I'm assuming there was nothing outright hated.
No, there's nothing I hated. In fact, I wouldn't really say there is a weak part because I enjoy like exploring / traveling and combat of the game. So I wouldn't say there's a weakest part per se. I am slightly worried that we might have skipped something though, because we left Barovia pretty fast. We basically did Donovich and got Irina and Ismark, and then fucking booked it out of there after Death House. And I feel like we might not be able to get back into Vallaki, and there might be more to be done in there. So like, if there's any part that I feel is weak, it's maybe that we
Skip stuff.
Yeah. Which isn't really your fault. It's more like our fault. But
I think that's a really interesting answer, given that one of the features of the book is supposed to be there's variability and stuff that you miss so that you can replay it and it could still be relatively interesting in a new playthrough. So I think it's actually pretty cool to like, I'm worried about missing stuff, especially because you're in good company with me at the very least. Like, I worry about missing stuff in games and shit, so like, I can totally understand.
I'm definitely more of the completionist type. I like to see everything, so knowing that that's not possible is kind of annoying.
Yeah, like you gotta be level 50 before you fight Kellogg. Yeah, that makes sense.
Though I am
That's just how I play, and for your information, I was level 88 when I fought Kellogg.
Jesus Christ.
I was just talking about in general, the main quest. Other stuff to do that give me stuff.
Nah.
People usually go that route.
I do my best to cheat it so that you can hit as much as you can. But obviously, there's only so much I'm going to bet. What about you?
I kind of didn't really care for the fucking trunk. I mean, that kind of went on for a little bit longer than it needed to.
The what?
Oh, dealing with them?
Yeah, the
Oh,
trunk.
the drunk?
I mean, some of it was necessary, but some of it was just...
It was more just character friction.
Yeah.
Which, no, I agree, is kind of annoying.
Fair.
I think it adds a bit more depth to it.
I think it's
What about-
realistic.
In retrospect, it probably would have been easier to just kill him.
The
Instead
drunk.
of having to deal with all this bullshit.
The eternal conundrum of being reasonable versus...
If it fits the character, it fits the character.
What about you?
The needle blights, they didn't really seem to do much. Yeah, I know it's a combat thing, and yes, it's all based on rolls, but even then, I really am not sure what blights can really do to adventurers when they're already like level 3 when you come across them, if I'm remembering correctly. Like it kind of seems like there should have been something that either like came out near the beginning, like after the werewolves, or in the middle of us running from the werewolves. Like that might have had a bit more impact. But where they came in, they felt a little like they're just there.
Yeah. There's something to be said for conscious control of the encounters versus just rolling them, which is I've done half and half, and maybe we're getting towards the end where I don't do it that way.
Fair enough.
Maybe.
Rex.
What is my opinion? That'd be sick.
I literally couldn't do anything.
I think it was good.
As weak parts go for me, maybe it's just me or something that I could have done better. But I can't help but feel like running into Ismark and getting Irina should have been maybe a little bit more special than it was. I wasn't given any special instructions, but for something that could potentially be the whole hook, it doesn't have to be. You can be more worried about Strahd than about protecting her. But for something that could be the whole hook, I don't know. I feel like either maybe I should put more juice behind it, or maybe it should be a little more special in the moment.
Yeah. I feel that.
I suppose the investigation thing where I chalk that up mostly to me, like, but that's, yeah. As is. So I take it, if we were to ask the cliche question of would recommend, like, we don't got any no's, right?
No. I liked it. I think Vallaki is definitely a cool place. I'm interested to see some other towns. See how they are. I do agree. I kind of wish we had stuck around Barovia more, but maybe we'll have a chance to go back to it and see stuff.
Maybe.
Or not banned.
I'm wondering
they're
what's up with that
regular
screaming woman.
Yeah, just in.
Oh.
Yeah,
When I
in
met
barovia.
Ismark, there was a woman who kept wailing, and I'm wondering what the fuck is up with that.
Well, because he mentioned it had to do with like loss.
I'm also interested in finding out why that coffin maker's so goddamn paranoid, but that's a Sasha thing. He's curious.
I had a cool idea for a last question. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
If you could give advice, and also you can pick between the two. If you could give advice to either someone that's going to run, let's say, this part, or play through this part, you can, again, pick whichever one, what would it be?
So I'm going to steal this from Rob preemptively, but you should see if you can get another player to actually play Irena. That way she'll feel like a more active part of the campaign. That's what I would do.
Huh.
Grab a friend and be like, hey, I need you to play Irena Kuliana and roll up a character sheet for her. I don't know, make her a fighter, I guess. And I haven't seen her stop block, but I guess that'd be the closest thing. And yeah, just make her another character at the table. Because she is really important to the campaign, obviously. Strahd wants her, and yeah, she should feel like a more active participant. Not to say that she hasn't, you're doing your best, but having her be an active character would definitely enhance your game.
Put a bit more depth. Putting a face
Yeah.
to the character.
Yeah.
What about you? Player advice or GM advice? Or both? There are no rules here, except for the DMG.
I'm not sure.
And
I guess if I was gonna try to give GM advice for people that were going to run it, I'd tell them to try to focus on maybe making their players feel like they're isolated. Or, cause like, if you think about it, when you're like a kid and you're afraid, like if you're in the dark and you're afraid of the dark or something like that, usually you are afraid because you feel like you're alone or you're helpless or something like that, or maybe you don't know what's out there. And so maybe like don't give them a guide to Barovia quite so fast. Let them flounder around a little bit. Like don't exclude them from plot hoof, maybe, but
I think I get what you mean. You
you
have Ismark, and I believe I said they have a map, so like you can kind of look at it when you need. Doesn't have everything on it, but like,
Right.
I feel ya.
If you didn't have any of that, that'd be rough.
What about you?
Perhaps not take too long on investigations. So you have less chance of getting caught. For
Yeah.
players.
Right.
Yeah. Fair. What about you?
I guess mine would be for players, and I guess partially GM. If you feel like you're not sure about it, what you could try doing is, I was just trying to run like a themed character, like a character that could either completely go with the theme all the way, you know, like kind of dark, gritty, or like sad or whatever, or you can go completely in the opposite direction and play kind of something like Emeron. Super happy basically all the time, wants everybody to be happy. That would clash very heavily with Strahd. It could potentially lead to some, I think, interesting interactions.
So clashes a little bit with a series of straight dungeon crawls, but yeah.
Well, I mean for personality type.
In this adventure, where it's less about being in caves and more interaction based, I think you have a pretty good point.
Okay.
I would give running advice, and it would be to just read the book more and read the book harder. I am constantly forgetting and skipping over things that I should not have skipped over or forgotten. If there's ever anybody who decides to go through and tally up mistakes that I've made it's going to be huge. And while that's not a problem in and of itself, there are times where I wish I had done it exact because it might have been a little cooler than me trying to engineer course correct. Though, as you've seen, we still had some fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Sick.
Definitely.
10 out of 10. 100 out of 100. That's module. That's module.
There's certainly plenty more game to go. Just hoping it only gets better from here.
Let's see if our characters make it that far.
Yeah, well.
Hey, I have faith.
Hey, you're not the one with the failed death save twitching on the ground.
You got a healer next to you, or somebody with heals.
Word. With that concludes the review portion. Look forward to finding out how that twitching mage sorts out, as well as the other two, the Kenku, and the NPCs along the way.
Oh,
The Pidgey.
Ow.
Yeah, I already have it.
yes, I know.
I didn't forget it.
The two main characters.
What?
I don't know.
Well, the picture
After
of him
Marshall High
switching
School,
on the
I
game
never
pretty
want to hear
fake.
that shit again. You can fuck right off.
For pointing and saying main characters, you two are with the plot important NPC, or at least you were.
Yeah, we sent her away.
Yeah.
It's our own fault.
See, you would literally be with the plot important NPC right now.
It made sense though.
Do you want
It
to?
sounds dumb. Do we say goodbye? in
Yeah,
review?
we do it. Yeah, because it's gonna be its own episode.
I swear, the Alzheimer's is setting in.
Yeah.
At least I don't have Alzheimer's. That obviously concludes.
I
He's Harper.
that
You
in.
can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Artist David Harper. And of course, here we have.
You know, now I can't edit that out because that joke was super fire, right? You basically made it to where I have to leave that. Anyway, I'm Maribulus.
Wait, what joke?
I was like, oh my god, really? He's so
You were
dumb.
dumb as hell. You can find more of me on Twitter at Lights Camera Initiative, where I speak for all of these three fools here, but not David. You can find me next month, although by the time this comes out, it might literally be this week. I will be on the Greyhawk channel, and also next month I will be in a one-shot on the Scradicus channel too, so you can check me out at those. Yeah. I think that's it for me. I might
Alright.
start streaming stuff on Twitch, but we'll see about that.
In the air.
I'm Robert. I play Greila, and I don't really have anything to add. So yeah.
I'm Jeff. I'm playing Craig. So yeah.
Got nothing interesting going on?
No, same. Well, I might be helping painters painting a house.
I'm sure that's not a metaphor for drug use or anything. I'm helping them paint.
Paint the walls.
I'm serious. I do a
Colors
good
of
job.
the wind.
Fair enough. Gotta make us all look free with your two jobs.
Ed Strahd playing Siguror. And yeah, just whenever you're playing, just have fun. I mean, that's kind of the point of it.
And how? Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.